here we are getting ready to begin our journey together, and where we're going to start with meditation. Okay, I want you to get comfortable in a place, typically upright if you can. If not, get comfortable lying down. Maybe you're listening to this in the morning, maybe you're listening to this at night. And we're going to go on a little trip together. And so I want you to get comfortable and drop your shoulders. I'm going to assume you're sitting up. And if not, just adjust it accordingly. I want us to take some breaths together, and I'm breathing us all in. If there are noises around, I want you just to incorporate them. Don't try to run from them. Just incorporate them into your breathing. Let's take one more breath in again, and this time we're going to breathe in, hold it, push against your stomach, and breathe out. What I want you to do now is, as you breathe in one more time, and as you breathe out, I want you to imagine that you're standing on the top of a hill. And as you're standing on the top of the hill, you're looking around. And as you're looking around, you know that you're in a safe place. I want you to look behind you, your sides, just look all around and see that you're very safe. And you'll see, as you look around, you'll see that there is a bench or a chair, or there's something to sit or recline or lay on. And I want you to walk towards that, but don't sit in it just yet. Just walk towards it. And as you walk towards it, I want you to see if there's anything written on it. I want you to see, as you walk around it now, whether you see something on the back. And just look at it for a while. And when you are ready, I would like you to sit down on it. And as you're sitting there, and I want you to get comfortable. What do you need to get comfortable? Do you need something to drink? Do you need to be warm? What do you need? I want you to be sure you have it. And as you're sitting there getting comfortable, a woman comes towards you. And she is so happy to see you. She's just thrilled to see you. Maybe you recognize this woman, maybe someone new to you. And as she's walking towards you, you could feel a tree growing up behind you. At first, it's a little tree as she's walking towards you. But you can feel the tree getting taller. So eventually you can feel it behind you. You can now see it up over you. And I want you to look in that tree. What kind of tree is it? And the woman arrives. And she has a bag with her, and out of that bag she pulls out something to sit on. And she sits across from you. And she asks you, where do you want to be? Where do you want to be? With this thing that you want to kick to the curb? And you tell her. You tell her what you know. If you're not sure, you tell her you're not sure. You tell her you just can't see it. You don't know how. You tell her that. Whatever is honest for you, this is where you tell her. And as you're telling her, she shakes her head. In that way, when someone is deeply listening to you, they're shaking, they just are moving their head in a way that you know they're hearing you. And you see this. And maybe you need to tell her some of your frustration about this thing that you want to kick to the curb, this thought that you want to kick to this curb, the story. And again, she moves her head in such a way that you know you're being heard. And then she takes out of her pocket or out of her bag something, and it gives it to you. And if you can't see it, if it's just beyond your reach, just behind a veil of shimmeriness, I want you to imagine it's a red key. And she hands this gift to you, and you take it. She stands up. She kisses you on your forehead. She picks up her chair. She helps you stand up. She kisses you on your forehead. She gives you a hug. She asks you to sit back down. And as you sit back down, she's gone. You look in your hand at what she's left you with. May make sense to you, may not make sense. What I would like you to do is to move your toes now, move your legs, move your torso, move your shoulders, move your neck, move your head. And when you're ready, open your eyes. Welcome back. Okay, so we know, so what we've done now, all right, is we have listened to the meditation. We've started to get an inkling about where we want to be, about it. And while I've called this next phase that we're going to do the first step, first you want to start with meditation. And then the next step is to write about it. To write about where you want to be, about this thing, this idea, this story, this feeling, where it is that we want to be, where we really want to be about this it. I'm going to call it it because it could be anything for any of us. And I'm going to share with you what mine is because it's meant to inspire you. It's meant to inspire you to dig for what it is that you need to kick to the curb. For me, what it is that I went through a divorce, which is the divorce itself is final, but it started 2.5 years ago after 34 years of marriage. I have done the work of what I was responsible for. I've been able to forgive myself. I've been able to forgive the other person. But there's a couple of things that are lingering that I just cannot move. I just can't, and I'm sick of it. And I'll show you a picture when I am making the page. And what happens to me is that every time that I see myself on video camera, which is really hard, and whenever I see where I'm out with good friends and I want to take a picture because we're having such a wonderful time and they show me the picture, all I can see is what I look like. And I immediately drop out of the fun that we're having and I drop into a hole and I miss the whole day. I stay connected as I can, but the fact is that I'm pretty much gone because my self-talk, I know how to self-talk myself out of it, but it will take all day and it's getting better, but it takes all day and it could take part of the next day to get out of it. And it was cruel how it ended around my body. And there really isn't much I can do about it. Why? Because I look like my mother, and my mother looks like my grandmother. And the fact is, I have a very healthy body. It's round. And what I hear when I see that is all of the language of how I should be, how I should be, and I do eat well. So it's not like, but the language says, you should eat better, you should starve, you should go on a diet, you should exercise more, you should drink more water, you should be thin, you should be all of these things. And then it immediately falls into, you fat pig, you're just disgusting. It just falls right in there. And sometimes I'm there before I even know how I got there. So what I'm going to share with you is, and this first part about writing about it, this is not, I'm only sharing this part with you right now because you have an it as well. But we're not going to talk about the it. What we're going to talk about is where I want to be, where I really, really want to be. And the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to write about it. I have a journal that I've created. You have a journal. If not, you could create a journal with a cover, just like we've done with the smash booking. And I'm going to go ahead and start writing about it based on the query of where it is that where I want to be, where I really want to be. And then I'm going to revisit that, my results of that, when I actually get to the page. So step one, write about it. And I want to remind you, breathe. And for this part, I don't want to take myself so seriously. My God, I'm just, makes me crazy. This is for me. This may not be the lesson for you or reminder, but just don't take yourself so seriously. You're going to make it through this. That's what I'm telling myself. So, okay, breathe. And let's write. Hi there. So as I shared, well, the first thing I want to tell you is that normally, as I've shared before, I put a nice clean piece of paper down. But I have infused this particular page with so many lovely things that I want to just keep using it because it has you in it actually. So getting started, as I shared, what I want to kick to the curb is this horrible thinking that I have about my physical appearance. And the way that we always start with a cosmic smash booking is by writing. Now, I can also write in a journal, which I have written ad nauseum, morning pages about this. I know the why, I know exactly, and we're going to get into that later. This page is about where I want to be. This is where I want to be. I don't want to be in that other energy. I want to be in this energy. So this smash book page sounds like this. This smash book page is, I would like to be, and then I'm going to answer that question. So I would like to be in a place where when I look in a mirror, and I don't need this to be when I look in a mirror, it doesn't even need to, I don't hate myself. And as always, we don't hear the word don't. So when I look in a mirror, I love myself. I see myself as a strong, healthy, vibrant woman. I see myself in clothing of my own design. I feel the health of my body. And then just turn it around. I want to say, I don't cringe. I don't cringe when I see myself. I don't beat myself up, but we don't want to use don't. So what do I want to do? I want to, when I see myself in a mirror, because right now when I see myself in a mirror naked, oh my gosh, I'm so harsh. So the opposite of that would be, I guess I just need to keep saying, I see myself healthy. And I have what I call a grandmother's body with no grandchildren. So it's like, what a waste. So I see myself level. Oh man, this is a hard one. The next one, I see myself sexy. I mean, I can feel myself sexy, but look at myself and say, you oh boy, that's going to be interesting. So I could continue to write and write, which I probably will, but it's going to sound more like that. But when we're all done, and if I get anything triggering, remember, I'm going to go to a resting page, which I have turned mine into envelopes, but I'm going to create a new resting page. If I get really triggered, I'm going to go to another page. I can always come back to this. If I need to go to my grounding page, I can go to my grounding page. There are things that I can do if it gets really triggery where for whatever that means for you. For me, it means anxiety. I get into an anxious state, and not a creative anxious state, or depressed. I'm not. When I get depressed, it's situational, so if I find myself in that place, then I can go to a page and rest that, or I can go back to a journal that I've created, and then I can write in that as well. And we'll talk more about that journal. But as always, we end this with, please show me, tell me. And notice I'm going across the page. Inform me, instruct me, heal me, help me, because I really do want to believe this. I know other people believe it, so if they believe it and they look the way I do, then there's no reason why I can't. Show me, heal me, inform me, instruct me, teach me, which is the same as instruct. And anything, calm me. And anything you might want to say like that. Then as always, I can use paint, I can go straight to paint, or I can go to gesso, or I can start to cover it up and do this with colored pencils. But I want to start shifting this energy here. And I do that as I've shown you. I do that with gesso. And you can do this with a credit card. And do this with a credit card. Or anything that looks like this. Now I have a spoon under there. So it's always going to have this little bump. Ooh, that's interesting. Kind of feels like breast, I guess. And I'm always listening, even when I'm doing this, and even when I'm talking to you, I'm listening. Like, that's interesting. What does that feel like in the context of what I'm talking about? And as I'm covering this up, it's not because I'm covering up what I feel. It's because I'm shifting it. I'm already starting to shift it. So I'm going to let this dry and we'll see where it goes. And we'll proceed from there. Okay, so we have meditated, we have written. You might have done a triggery page, which I did here. I had something triggering me, so I've got a triggery page. I'm feeling in my body. I'm ready to go for the more lighthearted, which is where I want to be. Where do I want to be? And I'm going to show you a technique that I first kind of saw with Misty Mon, an art journaler. I saw it also with Nicholas Wilton. And I'm going to elevate it a bit and use it slightly differently. What I'd like you to do is to get 3 colors, a red, a yellow, and a blue, and a white, and a white. And I want you to give yourself plenty of paint to do this with. And we're going to do some contrasting. Let me show you what I mean. We're going to, and I want you to get 3 brushes, a large, a medium, and a smaller one. And what we're going to do is we're going to create shapes. And what I'd like you to do is, when you make a shape, I want you to make a different shape. Or, let me show you. I'm always better when I show you what I mean. I've prepared my palette over here with these primary colors. I'm going to choose a brush, and I'm going to start out with my larger brush. And I'm going to start putting down some blue. And because I'm tempted to put it over here, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do it. Normally I would put it here, so I'm thinking about it, and I'm going to put it over here. That's not a place I normally would start. And there's a shape there. And so I'm going to put a circle here with this brush. And the lines, these lines for me always represent cosmic smashbooking. I'm going to give myself some 3 lines. Turn the book. Give myself 3 smaller lines. One, 2, 3, 4. And let me get another one. And I'm looking for something that's different. These 2 are the same size. So over here, I'm going to go, and of course they're the same size because I'm using the same brush. So I want to do one more thing that's going to cross the page here, and I'm going to do a rectangle. Just do a rectangle. And I'm going to continue doing that. So I think I'm going to stay with that color, and I'm going to come in here. I'm going to come in here with my smaller brush with yellow, and now I'm just going to start making yellow marks. and the yellow is more transparent. So there's one. It's the same size as that. So I'm going to make this a little bigger. And what this is I'm making, in fact, I'm going to take this off the page right away. I'm just going to take that off the page. And what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to be in a Zen state of using these three colors, these three brushes, and using white, and just start playing in this. Thinking about, and I'm staying with the primary colors, I'm not using any darks, and I'm just creating a portal to allow, I'm breathing, to allow the lightness of where I want to be around this thing I'm kicking to the curb. So here I go. Okay, one other thing I wanted to remind you about is don't think too much. Don't think too much. This is just about play. You know, like I got that, and so over here I'm going to put a triangle, you know, and then that kind of looks like a bell. That looks really super. I'm going to put it in my left hand, and I'm going to make some squigglies with my left hand. So don't think too much. And then I've got my red brush, because right now I want to see, I'm thinking. I can tell I'm thinking. And I want to stop doing that. Counting is okay. And I'm just going to start doing that. Okay. So here we go. So after I do a color, after I do a few of the primary color, now I'm going to start mixing the colors, playing with the white, just play, and not think too much. Okay, here we go. Okay, I'm done for now. Now the trick with this is to use your left hand and to use a lot of paint. Don't be afraid of using paint. And obviously it's going to take a while for this to dry, and that's okay. I'm not even really looking at it. I'm just saying, oh yeah, that's colorful. And I'm just going to go ahead and let this dry before I even look at it. And we'll come back and rediscover. I guess this is the top of the book now. And when I turn it this time, I'm seeing yeah, okay, great. That's what I'm going to do, is stop and let it dry. So for this part about where I want to be at the end, I need to use collage, because the fact is I really cannot put it into words yet, or feeling. I mean, I know feeling-wise where I want to go, but I don't know how to get the image. So I use collage. Now, in a way, of course, this is like a dream board, which many of you know. But what I discovered when going to do the collage, because I went in, this is a high-end magazine, and I went into it thinking one thing, and as I was going through it, I had two problems. One is, as I was going through the magazine and seeing these beautiful things, I kept wanting to stop, because you have enough, you have enough, you have enough. But, and I'll show you here in a minute what I found. And then as I kept going, I started to realize some certain things. For instance, one of the pictures that I pulled is, I would like to be able to, because I'm kicking to the curb, this thought process about how I feel. There are things I will not do. I will, when I go to a place like this, if I get to a place like this, I would be too busy worrying about how I look to other people and my dressing, because I think, oh, they would think I'm a fat American. Look at that fat girl. Why can't she stop eating? I mean, that's the language that I hear. I would like to go to Africa, but if I go to Africa, I'd have the same thoughts. I love haute couture. Love haute couture. Look at that beautiful line. Just gorgeous. And that leads me to other clothing that I like, but there's just no way that I'm going to be able to wear it. So let me show you what I mean. That, you know, I love color in my clothes, but at this weight, my God, I look like my mother used to talk about Omar the tent maker. I know, let me see. My paintings, I would like to continue to do them with abandonment. And sometimes I actually have said, oh, you can't really be an artist because you're too fat. That is like ridiculous. But I've done that. So I have also, and I love good food. But I won't go eat it because I'm concerned about what other people will think. Look at her. Knowing full well I'm eating normal meals. I am not overeating. I am not eating bonbons. You know, this is just how I am now and probably how I'm going to be. So notice what you're saying as you're going through your books. And then I found some language, Call of the Wild. I want to live life luxuriously, and I'm not talking about having a lot of money. I'm just saying I want to look at what that means. Luxury, luxurious. Does that mean spending a half hour in my bed in the morning drinking coffee and doing my writing? That's luxurious to me. Is it buying a new plant? Those are the things that I'm talking about. The world is my canvas. Color it as you please. Oh my gosh. How well I believe that. And then again, as I was sharing, as I was going through the book, I kept wanting to say, stop, you have enough. You don't need any more. You don't need more. You don't need more. And then I came across this picture. And this is what I want to feel like. From this picture, clothing is gorgeous. The hat, obviously couture. Her little black dress that's beautifully stitched. But it's more on her face where she just has this look that she's okay with herself. And I just really love that. And also the beauty of how this is done. I just really, really felt that. So, right, so we're going to use, and now I'm going to go get my book, which hopefully is dry, and start putting this on my page. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to start doing a little bit of cutting and just cut out some of this language. Love the texture of that. So you ask, why don't I do this on, a desire board and put it up in front of me? Well, the reason is because I'm setting my intention. Now, this may still end up going up there, but right now this is about setting my intention and as I'm working in the book, where I want to be. Now, I could use glue to do this, but I'm just going to use, because of the texture of this, I'm just going to use double-sided tape. That's all I'm going to use. And I have decided that she deserves her own page. So can you do more than one page? And I'm just going to put yellow down here. Can you do more than one page for what you're doing? And the answer, of course, is yes. You take whatever you need to take to do what you want to do. And I'm just putting down some yellowish, which is now kind of turning greenish because I'm using my paintbrush with blue, and that is okay by me. And actually, really, all I need to do is to, because I love the yellow with the black, all I really need to do is just get a border around here. And while I'm letting that dry, by putting a piece of paper between it, and if it sticks, I don't care. This is one I just, and there's a resting page. This would typically be me, especially when I'm in this place. There's too much color. And it's not that I want to tame it down. It's not that I want to tame it down. It's that I want it to make some, I can't live like this. There's too much. There's too much. This is probably kind of how I live when the pendulum swings, but it's not balanced. And so what I want to do is I need to get some balance in here. And this is intentional creativity. Everything that I'm doing at this point has a reason, some reason. Now, again, it may not be pretty. That isn't what I'm after here. What I am after is there's too much. And so I want to calm me down because I could feel this. It's like, oh, what am I going to do next? What am I going to do next? Oh yeah, that definitely sounds like me. So I'm just going to put a little, this color is kind of bluish. Remember, we always want to cross the page. And I just want to calm that down. And let these parts of my life shine through. But not so much that you can't see them, because that, of course, isn't possible. Whew. Yeah. And maybe even what I put down might be like, oh yeah, oh yeah. I'm just feeling my way through this because my query, it's not about making beauty. If it comes out nice, that's great, but that's not what I'm after. What I'm after here is, oh, I can start to breathe again. What I'm after here is how I want to feel after. And so now I feel more imbalanced. Look at this luxury. So I'm starting to notice things now that I did not pay attention to when I was pulling them out. Living more wild, luxuriously. The world is my canvas. Obviously, more art. Just starting to listen a little bit. I'm going to have to listen to this a little longer. And also what I'm realizing is, okay, so now this is how I live also. So here all this color came up and then I pushed it back with the white. Like, no, that's way too much, way too much. Okay, now I've covered it up and I've lost the beauty of what's under there. So I'm going to sit with this. And you don't need to do it all in one sitting. I'm going to sit with this, and I'm going to hear what wants to appear. Boy, there's a lot of wildness going on. See, I didn't pay attention to the cats. I just knew I loved the color. So you don't pay attention. You just pull it out and feel it. I'm noticing the purple in here, the grape color that's in here against the white. And these wonderful marks. and a vase, which I've been wanting to draw in here. And that's exactly what I'm going to do, is draw a vase. And I'm noticing there's nothing organic in here. So I'm going to draw a vase shape. There's something. Not looking like a vase, it's looking more like a dress. It's looking kind of old. Oh my gosh, look it. This is what happens to me. I know what's going on here. Ha 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 ha. Remember how I said stay light? Okay, the lightness is appearing. The lightness is appearing. Okay. Let's see what else wants to show. Well, we want a little bit of red. And I'm going to use my thumbprint because, again, I said I want something that's organic. Can't get more organic than your thumbprint. As I'm sitting here working, I'm noticing the red that's going across there. And so I'm just going to carry this across over to here. For reasons I don't even know. And actually, going across here too. I'm just following this around. And what I also know wants to happen while that's drying is that this here, which is dry, and I'm using a ballpoint pen, which does write over these. Okay, so I want to use this. The way I draw like this is I use this very loosely because I knew that this was becoming, this is a common character for me. Something like that going on here. And whimsy, and it's cute. I'm holding it too tight. So here's some big hands. Make sure I get the number. Some big hands wearing those gloves. Those gloves are coming back into play that I did on my grounding page, which I said I didn't know, and I still don't know. There's that. This here is still kind of wet. So I'll give that a chance to dry. Put that down with a little tape because it just bugs me. Or, ooh, what if I remove it? Way more interesting. Way more interesting. I'm liking that. Okay, I know that's still wet. Okay, in fact, I like that so well. I wonder what happens if I lift this. I can even lift and move it. So you see how I'm just playing? Oh, I wonder what would happen if I did. I wonder what would happen if. I wonder what would happen, and you take risks. I wonder what would happen if I'm going to use my other hand here. If I just brought this down like that. It's demanding to go here, isn't it? Yeah, let me let this dry. And my questioning is, I wonder what would happen if. I wonder what would happen if I put yellow over the top of this. I wonder what would happen. And that's what I'm listening to. And then, or what would happen if I put some purple in here instead? Follow this down here like that. And use this same purple to give a little shadow. Around that. And what if I put this over here, or here, or up there, or there, or here? I wonder what would happen. I've got some gray over here from our earlier work. Kind of this blue. Let me see if I have a little, the back of a, I'm going to use the back of this. Kind of draw these same marks across here. Oh my gosh. Kind of like a journey. And you keep going and you keep listening. Like the same. This is why you listen. She wants pearls too. See the pearls over here? Pearls. Oh, I found that pretty funny. Bring this down. Okay. And the question is always, how do you know when you're done? Well, the answer is when it runs out of energy. And this one still has some energy in it. I know that because I keep saying, what do you want next? What do you want? I know I'm getting closer. And that comes just from doing them. And again, I haven't gone around yet. I haven't gone around yet to ask what all this means. I'm just asking, the real question I'm asking is what next? What do you want next? What about this? What about this? That's what's happening here. that doesn't feel right. And it's kind of trapped in here. Kind of trapped in there. So what I'm going to do, because I'm not sure, is I'm going to push it back and see how it feels. Because maybe that's what happens. You get these little sore spots as we move along. And I'm realizing these are in the wrong place. Not the wrong place. But really, that's why I like using, if you can, using this double-sided tape. There, that message is that. This seems obviously obvious. While I'm waiting to hear if there's any more to be said on this page, I'm going to go to that page where I put the yellow paint. And this is where I'm going to give her own page. And now I've gotten paint all over her. And that is just okay with me. What I don't like are straight edges like this. So I'm going to end up taking off some of her hat. Just about imperfection, of course. I want to let some of that come through. I'm going to go back into that magazine because as I shared with you, I was on a hurry. Or I'm going to go back through my pages and see if there's language that's meant for this. Probably stay connected. That would be, that right there resonates with me. I'm putting it next to my ear. Stay connected. As I look at her, I just feel like there's supposed to be a yellow, carry this yellow column all the way down for some reason. So she's connected in space. This is something, I suppose. Over the road. So I'm struggling, you see, because gray wants to go, gray doesn't want to go there. It doesn't make sense, it doesn't want to go there. And until I give it what it wants, I keep having this dance. I keep having a dance. So I'm going to complete the dance. I'm going to complete the dance. I'm going to complete it. So it still felt incomplete. So I went back to my magazine to see if, I went back to the pages to see if there was anything that I was missing that's supposed to go on the page that I overlooked for the first time. And of course I did. And that is that the world is my canvas, is your canvas. That's what I'm being told. And color it as you please. Which is giving me permission. Which is giving me permission. And that is powerful. And that feels complete. There was the permission. Okay. Okay, so there's my page. Now, let me stop and explain it. I've realized I'm going to have to live with this for a few days now that I've done it. So I'm going to write about this as I make the discovery. So I cannot wait to see your pages. I cannot wait. I know this ties into just letting go. I know this is to stop worrying about, the weight thing. But sometimes what comes up here is they're just so deep that you've got to sit with them to give it language. And that's what I'm going to do here. And I'm going to, So I can't wait to see your pages. I just cannot wait to see them, to see what you come up with that works for you. And to read about in the discussion what you have discovered when you... what it's going to feel like when you kick it, when you move through, where I want to be. I want to be wild. I want to be colorful. I want the world to be my canvas. There's lots of things I want to do. And living life luxuriously. I just love the juiciness of this here. There's so many little juicy spots. And living life luxuriously for me is to have time to paint, have time to be with my friends. Ooh, I just noticed something. This is not working for me here. Ooh, I just noticed something. Is that dry? It sure is. This needs to go up here. Doing it with a pen and not a brush. That's okay. You don't have that same pattern going in here. Okay, can't wait to see yours. Love you, love you, love you.